Hey everyone out there, welcome back to another episode of the Heath Bar, the podcast that gives you the chats on tap whenever you are ready for them. Got a really good one coming up today too. See, what do we got going on? You guys probably already know all of this stuff on my how to follow me on social media and stuff, so I'm going to skip all of that. If you don't know where to find it, you can find all my information on the website, theheathbarpodcast.com. It has all the links to my social medias on there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also has a blog up there that I write about stuff every now and then, some stuff about the podcast, some stuff not about the podcast, just things that roll through this brain of mine. Let's see, what else has been going on? Oh, I'm in the studio. I've been recording a few songs with the great Eric Domkowski here in Spearfish over at the Music Room. There in Colorado Boulevard. Been writing a bunch of stuff lately, and some stuff that I've had for several years that I've just been sitting on, and it's time to get them recorded. So I'm in there getting those done, getting those tracked and mastered. So be on the lookout for a Heath Johnson music release coming sometime soon to a platform near you. Kind of excited about it. Some of these songs, like I said, I've been sitting on them a while, and not a lot of people have heard them, and I just think it's time. So, yeah, really pumped about that. I don't know if it'll be done in time for Christmas, so probably not looking to get a Heath Johnson CD in your Christmas stocking, but you never know. We'll see how things go, and if I can make a decision on what songs I want to complete the album with or not. But regardless, it's fun. Recording is always a fun time. It's a challenging time. Especially when you're someone like me that has a hard time playing to a tick and keeping the things in beat. But I enjoy it, and it's good to do. So, gonna be authentic Heath Johnson music, just me and a guitar, and maybe I'll convince Eric to add some spice to the tracks with his pedal steel and electric and all the other stuff that he does. But yeah, anyway, look for it. Be coming out soon. See what else? Oh, I'm on the hunt for some authors. I'm kind of curious to sit down with some local and regional authors around the area here and just sit down with them, talk about their books, talk about their stories. I've been doing a lot with the songwriters and the music crowd, and that's great because it's where my heart lies and everything. But there's a lot more to the people around this area here than just musicians and songwriters. So looking to branch out a little bit and find some authors, find some painters and photographers and all the other types of people out there that have just phenomenal artistic talent in different expressions. So if you know of any local authors and artists and stuff, shoot them my way. You can send me an email, heath@heathbaronline.com. and get in touch with me, and we can make it happen. I just finished reading a local author's book last weekend. Read the whole thing in a day and a half, and it was a phenomenal story. So I'm hoping to get in touch with her soon, so be watching for that as well. Let's just get right to it, because this chat is a fun one. It will be by far the most different, entertaining chat. Let's use that. Entertaining chat that I've had here at the Heath Bar. My guest is Gordy Pratt, and if you've been around the Black Hills for any amount of time, you've likely heard that name. He's been playing around for 30, 35 years. I don't know if he's hit 40 years yet, but he's getting close if he hasn't. He's quite an entertaining guy. His shows that he puts together are built on the entertainment variety show, and he develops these characters and original songs and performs them for people in about 45 minutes to an hour shows. He's been doing a lot of stuff down in Deadwood with some of the history around there and around tourist season. He has a cowboy show that he does with his partner Dallas up here at the Heritage Museum in Spearfish. And he's been on Good Morning America. He's quite a character. I got to tell you, we've been trying to connect for the better part of this year, and it was really nice to finally be able to do that and sit down with him and talk his story and just get to know him a little bit more. The guy is hilarious. He's insanely talented, and I'm really glad that he was able to come on the show and we were able to make this happen for y'all. So I'm just going to get right to it because you all need to hear this conversation. It's truly a fun one. So ladies and gentlemen, here at the Heath Bar, give it up for Gordy Pratt. Welcome to the Heath Bar, where the conversations are always on tap.
Marry a woman with brains enough for two, and you'll come out even. Work for me.
That's going to work. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, man.
That's what I've been doing for the last. So I'm, and I can't help it. I've been really lucky. I've been able to make a living in the entertainment business, mainly by being funny.
Yeah.
Bob Hope used to say, the funnier you are, the more money you make. And it's true. I mean,
yeah?
I could be the best classical guitarist in the world, but nobody's going to book me. But if I can make them laugh, my motto has always been make them laugh, make them cry, make them laugh so hard they cry. If I can do that, I can get enough of a paycheck to live a reasonable life.
Yeah.
Even in the middle of nowhere. God, I used to drive a lot.
I mean, there's a difference from being a musician and being an entertainer or a performer. Like, if you can, like, I've seen people who, when they sit down, they pick up a guitar or piano even or something like that, and they blow me away. You put them on a stage in front of people, and everyone just, they're impressed with their skill, but they're not going to sit there very long and watch because it's just you lose the crowd in a sense type of thing.
Well,
so I know what you mean.
Yeah, the reaching out, sort of an inability to just sit there and play. You just kind of looking at that guy over there going, how's he digging this? All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that woman smiled. So, you're out there rather than people who can be very, very good at what they do.
Yeah.
Kind of internal.
Yeah. I got critiqued pretty hard from my wife's grandfather. Believe it or not, his name is Larry King.
I love it. Not the Larry King.
Not the Larry King, though he would tell you yes. But he's a Legends of Country Music. He does a dinner show down in Arizona.
Oh,
so he just plays through like all the. He used to live up here actually. He did it
What's
up
his
here.
name?
Larry King.
Oh, I know him.
You probably know
shows
him.
down in Keystone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him to say howdy. I'm a friend of yours, but absolutely.
Yeah, I'd imagine you.
So he's doing a Legends show down there.
He is. He's been doing that down in Arizona for a long time.
I'm going to be doing my radiation down there.
Oh yeah,
January, February.
Well, you'll have to check it out. I think he's around the Phoenix area, so have to go see him. You just look it up online. I'm sure he's
still at it.
He's still doing it, man. Yeah.
Guys like him.
Yeah.
I go, all right.
It's what he does, man. And but he critiqued me pretty hard on a show once because I had my chair and I just played songs, Yep. He's like, you got to engage a bit more, and which he's absolutely right. But in my defense, there were 3 people in the crowd, and him and my wife were 2 of them. So it was like there's not much I could do. But no, he's God, man, he's got it's cool what he does. He just kind of keeps it going, and I love old country music anyway. So to see what he does and hear what he does, and I think we might be going down there in March to talk with him, and I might try to get him on the show. But that'd be cool.
Fun.
That'd be really cool. He's probably got some stories. But speaking of stories, welcome to the Heath Bar, Gordy.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're.
It's my favorite candy bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
More and more people are telling me that, but it's
rocks.
as I get older. Like when I was a kid, everybody hated it. But the older I get, the more I like it myself.
People appreciate the toffee.
It's the toffee as you get older. Yeah. When you're a kid, you don't want that. You want whatever other kind of sugar you can get. But.
Well, I'm glad to be nourished by the Heath Bar.
Yeah, and it's
my sweet tooth.
It's good that we were finally able to connect. I know that we've been kind of back and forth in it with phones and texts for a while.
Right, not bad though.
Since it was about early this
to meet you
summer. Yeah. Well, it was Guth that was like, hey, you got to connect with this guy, and we got to talk. And you were doing some house shows this summer, and that, which So I didn't get to be a part of because my daughter was born and my life got busy.
We did
man.
talk about all that. I remember.
We did.
That's
yeah.
right. That's correct.
Yeah.
Cool.
But you've been playing for a while. So tell me a little bit, just real briefly, about what got you into it and when did you start playing and why'd you keep going, man?
As I like to say on my show, I started playing when I was 10 and I'm 24 now. Quite well. Like every baby boomer, I wanted to play the guitar to learn how to play rock and roll because the chicks dig it, and they still do. I mean,
they do. It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
And started with that interest, and luckily ran into a guy. This is in Western Colorado. I was in a town of 250 people. My class in school was 13.
Okay.
And a couple of guys got together with a couple instruments, and a fella there. The drummer and I just wanted to play rock and roll. And there was a guy who was a country guy. And we let him in because he had a guitar. It's pretty much all you had to do to get into this band.
You own it and you can play it? Okay, there you go.
And we kind of figured out how to play along with his stuff, and he figured out how to play with our stuff. And that guy, I just got in touch with him a couple of years ago. I really did not like country music then.
Okay.
That's all you heard on the radio.
What year was this? Like what era? Was this have been
early 60s?
Okay.
And I had the pleasure of I respected the music he did, and I did my best to play along with it. Now they're some of my favorite songs.
Sure.
Which is interesting.
Sure.
On the wings of a snow white dove. And I can still hear him singing it as a kid. He's not a kid anymore. But that's kind of how I got started with I don't know. I suppose you get the performing bug as soon as you do it and you like it. And then you do it a couple times and it really sucks. And you go, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. Been there a few times.
And
this year even, I've been there a few times. Like, what the hell am I doing, man?
Right. No kidding. Or what are they doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Why are you here? Obviously not to hear us.
Right. Right.
Can we stand on our heads and
keep drinking? I'll sound better.
That's right. Oh God! Now I lost the thread. I hate getting old with that. The Black Hills Playhouse. When I was 12 years old, my father's second of 5 wives, who grew up and still lives back in Faith, South Dakota, drug us to the Black Hills Playhouse.
Okay.
Down in Custer State Park, and I had never even seen a play. I didn't know what the heck was going on here. And it just fascinated me. I watched every show every night, and I'd found this little spot in the audience where I'd watch. I could see the audience, and I could see the show, and it's like, now, wait a minute. Last night, something happened on stage, and something different happened here. Now, what was that? And just kind of logging that, amazing relationship between an audience and a performance.
Yeah.
And it was all kinds of different performances, comedies, dramas. And I got roped into the musical because I could play a little bit of guitar. Skip Swenson, still a dear friend of mine, he would take you, no matter what you could do. If you could play 2 notes on a flute, he'd work you into the orchestra. You come off stage after moving a piece of scenery, and you pick up your flute and you go doot doot, and you're back on the stage. And the guy was brilliant. At creating these 15-piece orchestras out of basically just 2 pianos.
Wow.
Anyway, I got to absorb all of that. Had absolutely no interest in being on stage. But I watched it, and then I learned all the other stuff. My 30-year career as a variety entertainer was called the Original Fabulous One Guy. You know that one guy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because I still do all that stuff. I know how to do publicity. When I was 12 years old, Doc Lee, who started the Playhouse, had you out in front of the place with a clipboard watching the cars that came in, and you wrote down where they came from. Marketing 101.
Wow.
Sound, lights, building sets, doing, all the technical stuff. I loved it. That's what my dad was into.
Okay.
And there's nobody more fun than a bunch of theater people, I got to tell you.
Oh, I believe that.
I mean, just to hang out with.
Yeah. Backstage shenanigans, man.
Or after the show. And, having a couple of beers, playing poker. I'm 13. Oh, what an education.
Right, I'm sure.
All these college actresses. And, oh, boy. But,
right.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. I spent 10 summers there. And hitchhiked and drove around in the early 70s with a gal called Becky Bell, who was a wonderful singer and instrumentalist, and ended up in Detroit. Interesting times. It was right after the riots.
Okay.
And we were living in a pretty torn up neighborhood because we were hippies.
Yeah.
Old white hippie people.
Yeah.
And fascinating.
Oof.
Anyway, we ended up at
7 stories in that, man.
Ypsilanti, put together a band called Fresh Air. And I was always the promoter guy. That I was 19 and they were all at the end of their college, and Becky was actually quite a bit older than I was, 25. And I scored an audition for the National Coffee House circuit at the bitter end in New York.
Okay.
And I packed us all up. We had this little van. We went into the bitter. Didn't get the audition, but boy, what a trip. I mean, bunch of, and luckily nobody was into drugs. I mean, we were kind of beer people. I was one of those people. I tried everything back then, and I just settled on beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's not where most people settled back then. At least what my dad tells me anyway.
Yeah, we were rare, but anyway, chasing that thing. That was actually a band, and Ricky Jacobson, the fiddle player, who was also the Eastern Michigan University Orchestra in Ypsilanti, Michigan, concertmaster. So he was a classical and a fiddler and a flute player and a songwriter and a guitar player.
Okay.
Just a, consummate human being.
Yeah.
Ricky and his Labrador. And that guy changed my life in a number of ways. He wrote some stuff that still is with me, and worked on some of my stuff. Like the first song I kept, which is like from 1971.
Wow.
And then there's this big gap.
Yeah.
Like 30 years.
That happens. It happens. You write a bunch of, I was told by someone, they said, you write a bunch of shitty songs until you get one you like, and you keep that one, and you throw all those away, and then it'll do this. It's just a rotation. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of weeds it out for later, because you start these songs, and you just figure out right away they're going to be crap, and you just throw them away.
Right.
And get to the one that's going to keep. We were driving back from this bitter end audition. Didn't get the gig, but great experience. And through the hills of Pennsylvania, heading west. The sun was coming up. I was driving. Ricky got up, slammed an 8-track in the 8-track player above my head, and we watched the sunrise to, and I'd never really been into classical music, didn't have a clue, maybe Peter and the Wolf or something as a child.
Sure.
And cartoons. Mm-hmm. I mean, I learned
that was a great way to get classical music into kids, man, back then.
Ba-deep, ba-deep, ba-deep.
I still remember Bugs Bunny dancing to the classical stuff.
It's great. Anyway, we're driving down the road, and I don't know what happened, but it just hit me, and it was the Beethoven First Violin Concerto. And Ricky had gone back to bed. He'd taken a leak in a beer can or something, and went back to bed, and it just struck me. And from that point forward, and then later, about that same year, we were out with Fresh Air was the name of this band, and Ricky put a record on and said, listen to this guitar music, Gordy. I'm listening and saying, yeah, those guys are great. He said, no, that's one guy. What do you mean? It's one guy playing one guitar. All right, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, jeez, man.
And I spent 7 years doing that. Ithaca College in Ithaca, New York, and did a semester in Royal College in London.
Okay.
And San Francisco Conservatory. But this is really what got me into it. Everybody knows this thing. Smothers Brothers. I heard this on the TV and I went, yeah, I want to learn how to do that. I'm not warmed up. everybody pucker up. Trombones. Come on, you know it. Don't make me laugh. Anyway, and on and on and on. I mean,
Jeez,
it's and the classical stuff. I mean, that was, that's not a piece of classical guitar music. That's a whatever thing that Mason Williams wrote. That's just the weirdest combination of a little Spanish and a little pop and geez, what a song. But the stuff I got into was more like the cartoon music. And I haven't played this stuff for a while. I should have warmed up.
Still sounds good to me, man. Nice.
Mozart-y stuff.
So just driving around, Ricky kicks an 8-track in the car, and that was it. Just hooked.
And it's that tune, and it still kills me.
Man,
I know the whole thing in my head. I could sing, my...
It's always funny to me how, like, people can usually pinpoint moments like that in their life that shaped the rest of their future. Just something simple like that. You're just driving as the sun's coming up, or was it, coming up or something like that. And
in my rearview mirror, I've got the picture in my head, Pennsylvania hills, beautiful deciduous trees.
Yeah. Never forget it.
No.
That's cool.
And it was
man.
Ricky. Unfortunately, he died in a car wreck not too long after that.
Oh, man.
Really a shame. But
yeah.
Really had a huge influence. Ricky Morrison, huge influence on my life.
That's cool. Yeah. Was that, so when you get into classical music, and I guess playing everything like that, I'm guessing writing your own, is that something that ever really happened with you in that? Because I guess maybe it's more of a question to ask, but hey,
my partner.
What are you guys doing? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
My partner Dallas here just happened to walk in. Heath. It's called the Heath Bar.
How you doing?
Keith?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What do you call this thing?
It's a podcast. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, does he not even know the name of a podcast?
Well, he's learning. He's learning slowly.
Let me get you a chair.
Quickly, actually.
My car's running.
You sure?
I gotta go to Sioux Falls.
Right,
I'm a very busy person.
Well, I know you are. And always a pleasure to see you.
I wrote you a address on there.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much.
All right. Nice
Okay.
meeting you. Have fun.
Yeah, you too. Have a safe drive.
I will.
Come when you can stay.
You know I will.
Say hi to Dana for me, please.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I tell you, fast forwarding through a long. I really started making a living in 1990 in the entertainment business when Deadwood came around. But meeting Dallas Sellers just changed my life. As I always like to say, I played with myself for 30 years, and she showed up, and it's a lot more fun.
Sure.
Tremendous singer and guitarist as well. She doesn't think she's a very good guitarist, but she's a very good guitarist.
No kidding.
And when we started this, we got together because I had a project at the High Plains Western Heritage Center, the Spirit of the American Cowboy. There's a little cowboy in all of us.
Sure.
And cowboy song, not country songs, but cowboy stuff. And we worked on that thing, and, by the time we were... she loves to rehearse. The last 3 weeks, we're putting that show together, 1 hour show. We rehearsed about 30 hours a week.
Holy cow.
And we had the time, too.
Yeah.
Sure. And, I love working with her.
Yeah.
She's something else, man.
That's cool.
She's not afraid of me saying, can we do that 12 more times? Yes, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah. That's how you get good. It's funny... You can tell the people that spend time behind the scenes or not on stage getting ready for a show, because when they get up there, it's flawless. Yep. It's absolutely. I heard once said if you want become a professional at something, you practice so you can't get it wrong.
Yeah,
and you just go, and that's something that I don't know. I find myself not having as much time as I wish I had to do all that. It's just I'm at that part of my life, and just where it is, man. Young kids, and it's like, ugh. 2 teenage girls now, man, and then a 7-month, a little girl too. So it's just all facets of life are surrounding me that's now. Cool. But it's good. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So
that's cool. Yeah, I got a good one for you. After all these years of raising kids, I can see the end in sight. I've thought about it, but I can't imagine what it's like. They could do their own darn laundry. I hope they brush their teeth. Those braces cost more than what I paid for my first new GMC. It'll be so nice and quiet when they're gone. It'll be just you, me, and the dog, honey, from now on. We'll do all the things that we put off for so long. The things we said we'd do when the kids are gone. Bye, kids. Right when you get work.
And not before.
Well, here we are, it sure is quiet, just me and you. I guess we kind of lost ourselves. Now what do? Sell the house and hit the road? Do what we've always wanted to. It's been so long, can you remember what were we gonna do? Hey, let's buy that red convertible. It's only got 2 seats. All the hair that I've got left on top will be blowing in the breeze. Fuel injected 4-speed, put the top down, let's get wild. It's the midlife crisis, second coming of my first inner child. It'll be so nice and quiet when they're gone. Oh, yeah. It'll be just you, me, and the dog, honey, from now on. We'll do all the things that we put off for so long. The things we said we'd do when the kids are gone. Well, it's Saturday night, and for the first time in 20 years, we're home alone. That's how it all started, Let's disconnect the phone. After all these years of shh, be quiet. The kids might hear. We've still got the urge. We've got the urge to merge, and the kids aren't here. It'll be so nice and quiet when they're gone. It'll be just you, me, and the dog, baby, from now on. We'll do all the things that we put off for so long. The things we said we'd do when the kids are gone. The things we said we'd do. When the kids are gone. Good night, honey.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
My mother's favorite song of mine, but that's yours.
New theme
you're
song,
looking
man.
right at it, man.
Absolute theme song. We oh jeez. I was telling her the last 2. So when I don't have a gig on a Friday or Saturday night, 8:30 rolls around, man, and I'm like, I'm gonna take my book and go lay in bed. And that's just what I'm gonna do. Have a little bit of whiskey by the bedside, and by 9 o'clock, lights out.
You're out, man.
It's funny. I never ever saw it coming, but now it's just what life is like right now. But.
Well, and the addition of children into one's life, you just do so much more stuff.
Yeah.
In the course of a day, you think you used to do a lot when you were, before kids.
Well, it's one of those things like you don't realize how selfish you are until you get married, and then you still don't realize how selfish you are until you have kids, and you're like, okay, like I got a lot of work to do. You know what I mean?
And you still don't know how selfish you are until you adopt a small village in Africa.
Of course, and of course, you can always do more, man.
That's
you can always do more.
One of my favorite expressions about performing, like if you're especially in a concert type situation, never leave them wanting less.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Kenny Putnam used to say that to me all the time. He says, don't want to go long, don't want to go long. And finally one day I said, yeah, you never want to leave them wanting less.
Right. Like, okay, you could have stopped a while ago.
To sing those last two songs.
Yeah, there's been a few nights of mine like that. And even with a few buddies, it was like, okay, it's time to stop.
Stop. And the true trick is, I think, even when you're just messing around, stop before you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Leave yourself a little for next time.
Sure.
That last song, I'm not going to play that last song. I'll leave that.
Right. You can always save it for next time. You know what I mean?
I dug up the first song I ever wrote that I kept.
Yeah?
In this process of trying, I'm going back and recording some stuff. I'm going to hopefully record a bunch of stuff before my voice. I don't know what's going to happen to my voice with this cancer thing.
Yeah, man.
It might be the same. It might be different. Might be like this. Oh, Gordy. Oh, just fine. Thank you. Yes. Got a job doing Mickey.
There's probably a lot of people that's still going to listen to it, you know.
Well, for doing comedy, it really doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true.
And I am writing a cancer show, actually.
Did they give you any type of idea on what will happen to your voice as far as I guess
good.
They're not too concerned or anything, or
they never say that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you can
true.
see them going. Yeah, I mean, God, I don't know. The most amazing thing to me was to go to the Mayo Clinic, and the first doc walked in, and then there's like 12 of them in there looking at you. Smart people, and I said, tonsil cancer. Who gets tonsil cancer? And he said, everyone we're seeing today has tonsil cancer. Oh, okay. Well, I'm in the right place.
Oh. Well,
you guys got this one down.
You probably know what you're doing. Yeah. Huh, man. Well, sorry to hear that. It's never a good thing, but
I don't know. It is what it is. And I'm kind of doing a combination of some alternative stuff and the regulation, chemotherapy, and radiation. The best joke that's come out of this, because I've been soliciting cancer comedy from people as I speak to them, as I am speaking to you now.
And is that just from your performer habits or kicking in? And
well, I got to have something to do.
Sure,
I got to have a project. And truly, I get through things with humor.
Sure.
To me, laughter's the best medicine. And if I've made a lot of other people laugh, and you're not supposed to laugh at your own stuff, but sometimes you do.
Well, if it's going to happen anyway, might as well make the best of it.
That's right.
But some things just happen in life, and you can't change it. So.
The best one that happened, a friend of mine told me. He says, "Well, what about Lone Ranger? Chemo sabi."
Oh my God.
Chemo sabi. I mean, that's there's something you could do with that.
You can play with that.
And songs. I mean, there are all of these, and there have been for many, many years. Little 3 or 4 people in a little theatrical type situation. It's musical comedy, a lot of parody songs. There was one about menopause the musical, blah, blah, blah. A little hour and a half entertainment. That's what I'd love to put together from this thing. And, tonsil cancer, it's all in your head.
Oh my God.
Have a drummer. I don't know. We'll see.
Do you, when you... Oh my God! When you put stuff
it's there.
It's working, man. It's already working. I'm like, man, right out the bat. I'm like, all right, settle in, folks.
That was Dallas's, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Do you, when you do your shows, do you see them start to finish and okay, this is where I want to start. This is how I want it to end, and then do you fill in the middles to get there, or is it just kind of well, let's just start building a show and see where it leads?
I really do follow that. Make them laugh, make them cry, make them laugh so hard they cry.
Okay.
And that has a structure with it.
Okay.
The make them cry part comes about at least 2/3, if not a little farther, into the show. So you got a nice chunk to get them out of the hole, and it's make them cry. I did a song about my son for years, and this thing. Claire had all but given up. She and Edwin fell in love. It's an unbelievable song. A friend of mine, Don Henry, wrote it. It was a double Grammy Award-winning song for he and Kathy Mattea. Where have you been? It's about
it's a great song.
Oh.
Yeah, that song guts me every time I hear it.
For the longest time, it took me a long time to. It didn't take me a long time to learn the song, but it took me a long time to be able to play the dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like choke up in the middle of the third verse. Anyway, so you don't want to, when you do that to people, you want to be able to bring them back out.
Sure.
And the truth is they'll laugh harder after that. Works every time.
Yeah, people do that. That's like, whether it's performance, music, anything, like there's something about like low points in life that you appreciate laughter afterwards.
What comes afterwards. And,
yeah.
And it's, we are all like that.
Yeah.
If you watch any good romantic comedy, those structures are in there. Got to take them down, got to make them cry, and then you make them laugh at the end. I mean, what's his name? When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Classic example.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, so you really so your shows are almost like a study of just humanity and how we are as people. And you structured around how we respond to things.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
I just said this to my friend Anna Marie today. I'm an audience-driven person. I've always... Fats Waller song. Find out what they like and how they like it, and let them have it just that way. When you find out who your audience is, and you figure out what they would like, and you do that for them.
Yeah.
And you take the check and go home.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, really. Because a lot of stuff is real episodic, fragmented, a little chunk of this, a little chunk of that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start off with something fast and funny, and, within about 5-6 minutes, play them a little classical guitar music so they don't just think you're, Warble T. Saddlesaw here with you. Dakota. And then you play something for them, and they go, oh, my goodness, he can play the guitar. And then, after that point, you can pretty much do whatever you want to with them for a while. And then that ends with that segment ends with the take them down, drive them in the boat. You got to be careful. Don't do two of those. You only get one of those. 45 minutes. I'm talking 45-minute show.
Sure.
Which is mostly what I did for 30 years. And then you head for the barn.
Wow. It's interesting. I'm thinking when I'm out performing, and there's been a few times where I've noticed that I've been able to engage and connect with the crowd, but the vast majority of what I book are, bar gigs where your background noise,
Right. Whole different deal.
Yeah, whole different deal. Yours is like, here's tickets, you're sitting, you're paying attention, and they're watching you, and you're performing to them. Most
typically, the audience doesn't necessarily pay anything, and they have a couple of drink tickets because it's the chamber banquet or it's these banquet gigs.
Yeah.
And I had to drive 40,000 miles a year to get these things, but it's the best. You're just in a stupid hotel room. You set up you got to bring everything. You set up your lights and your sound, but it doesn't have to be much because you're not playing loud and people are listening to you.
Right.
They eat. Somebody reads a piece of paper about me with a couple of jokes that I put in there for them.
Yeah, of course.
I do 45 minutes.
Get the delivery right, please.
And most of the time, an audience like that, they'll give you 10, 12 minutes, And I'd say, 95% of the time I got them. Sometimes it didn't, and they just wandered off, and half of them went to the bar, and the other guys are, farting over in the corner.
Sure.
But that corporate, and it's faded. That kind of work has faded for a variety of reasons. Just at the right time because I'm retired. I don't have to care.
It's like it just knew you were finishing up. Like, well, that was great.
That's right. Remember that.
Yeah, that is kind of, you don't see that much anymore. Like when I, the people, that I've met and that play around here and perform and everything like that, they're not doing that kind of stuff.
Well, and you have to have a show.
Yeah, you've got to build an entire thing from start to finish, which a lot of people don't put the work in to do that.
Well, and
or know how to.
And like you said, a lot of people are fabulous musicians, but they don't come across in an entertainment kind of way.
For the longest time, I marketed myself as 100% not the radio, because I've never been a fan of radio music or anything like that. I always like the stuff that kind of goes under the radar. And I don't know if I enjoyed it, but at the same time, like I look back and there's a lot of people in the crowd that just couldn't get into it because they didn't know the songs. And they're great songs, they're great artists, great songwriters and stuff, folk singers, Americana singers, and stuff that I wish more people knew of.
Do any David Wilcox?
I don't think I ever played any David Wilcox.
He's got one that a friend of mine years ago brought me this song, and she said, "This is your song, Gordy," and it has been for the longest time. That Rusty Old American Dream. The name of
I haven't heard that one.
I'll give it. I've got it. Was the name of my record. I'll give you one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a.
I like that stuff too, under the radar stuff.
Oh, it's just. I just think it's where it's at. It's the stuff that.
I'm a big Guy Clark fan.
Oh, I love Guy Clark. I was playing a couple weeks ago in Deadwood, and there's these couple guys that walked in, and of course they're screaming out for all this. Garth Brooks songs and the typical requests and stuff like that. And of course I'm like, I don't.
Waylon!
Yeah, And then out of the blue, they holler Guy Clark. And I'm like, well, that I can do. So they're like, I can't believe you have a Guy Clark song. And I'm like, well, you got to keep a few in there,
Oh, God, yes.
But but that's kind of the strand of music that I just fell in love with and perform and play. Yeah. But I don't build a show. Like I'll put a set list together, but that's very different from a whole performance, Well, like I'm trying to figure out how I would even do something like that at a bar.
Unless you're just it's a waste of time at a bar.
Sure.
But you could put together a show and market it to the non-bar audience.
That's true.
You could do a thematic thing, or it doesn't. I mean, unless you're just an unbelievably smoking instrumentalist or an incredible singer, you need to have some context with stuff and and a few jokes.
Maybe I'll work up a Heath Bar live performance show, and we'll get a few guests on and have a nice fun thing like that. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, you could do that out at the High Plains Western Heritage Center. They're killing to do radio stuff.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Carla.
We might have just birthed something here, Gordy.
Yeah. Well, Jim Thompson, did 15 years out there. Once a month, I think it was Wednesday nights, 15 years. He was live. Or no, it wasn't live. It was recorded for broadcast for KBHP with a couple of musicians and all that. So they have a history of that. The radio thing up there.
That's not that's really.
Be interesting.
My gears are turning, man. Because any more so, like I was telling you, the late night bar gigs, they wear on me, and I'm rolling in at 2 a.m. and the kids getting screaming at 6 a.m. to wake up and needs to, and it's
and my group, who like what you do, these old farts, they like to be out the door at 8.
Yeah.
So you do something that.
God, I'm getting old, man.
I've quit, and I don't produce as many things as I used to, but whenever I produce anything now, 2:00 matinee. I've got friends, I've got people that I know who are kind of in my, the 83-year-old women that used to come, in Deadwood in the 90s.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's not that they don't like to drive at night. They don't drive at night. And I'm getting to that point too. So, but restructuring your, how you present entertainment to the folks. But it really is figuring out who your audience is, and not only give them what they want, but give it to them when they want it.
Yeah. How many different shows do you think you've developed over the course of your career?
24, 25.
25 different performances where they're geared for different things.
Yeah, several of them were half-hour shows. Calamity Jane and the Wild Woman of the West. They're kid shows for Deadwood.
Yeah.
Wild Bill Hiccup. Gunfighter and Lawman. And Seth Bullock. I've done a one-man show on Seth Bullock, who's the first sheriff of Deadwood. 1,104 times as of this last summer. Half-hour show, 4 original songs.
Wow.
For the history thing in the summer. It just latched into that years ago, and did the Adams Museum for 2 weeks, 3 shows a day for 11 years. And now I'm doing it for the Rhodes Scholar bus tours. But just great piece of work. I mean, I have to say it's a great piece of work because I do it exactly the same all the time and people love it. You know?
And these are recorded? Like, do you, or is it like you've got to see it live if you want to see it? Like, you couldn't, like, do you catalog them for your own so you've got them to have as memories in that, or?
You mean, I have some recording of it, not very good.
Okay.
I even have a DVD of it, not very good.
Okay.
I tried to pitch, I did pitch public TV on this a long time ago, 20 years ago probably. Mm-hmm. And they said, boy, we'd really love to do this. And I said, great. And they said, bring us about $30,000 and we'll do it. And I went, okay. We stopped there.
Right.
You know,
it's like, I'm pitching to you. I thought you had the $30,000.
I do understand video $1,000 a minute. I've been in that universe, but
oof. Whoa. Yeah.
But yeah, those the historical shows. And then I wrote now this I have a pretty good videotape of. Had thousands of them at one point. Never could sell them. A little musical comedy melodrama called The Desperate Damsels of Deadwood, or Virtue, Villains, and Vixens, where you meet all the historical characters of Deadwood, Dilappity Jane, Wild Bill Hickhop, and my favorite dance hall girl, Miss Kitty Litter. 6 o'clock show right downstairs. Get your tickets now. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, when we were in Deadwood, I say because I had this troop of people.
Yeah.
Shitloads of people, through that whole period of time. But we'd stand on the street for an hour and bark people into the show.
Wow. With
a banjo and a prom dress or whatever. I mean, it was hard work.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
1995, we did 42. I had a crew of 7 people, and we did 42 shows a week.
Man.
Little shows. Half hour, 45 minutes. But.
And
we made pretty good money.
I'm sure.
I think I made $1,500 a week then.
Wow.
And I'm just retiring from doing these corporate shows, and my last asking price was $2,500 a show.
Okay.
So I'm glad that happened.
Yeah.
Somewhere I went from, God, we used to do shows after show after show for $50 a show, you know?
Yeah.
You got 4 people and a piano player. My kids would run the lights. Mm-hmm. But it was, the lights went up and down, and it was a classy little review.
Sure.
Almost like a cabaret-style review. Small tables, cocktails, and snacks.
Man, that's fantastic.
I love that old. It's like the old coffee house venues were like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Get a couple of beers and some peanuts, and you got somebody. It's like vaudeville. You got somebody come on who's funny for a half an hour, and then you got a musician, and they're just playing the piano, so you're just bullshitting, and you have a whole night of maybe dual dancing. I mean, you had a whole night of entertainment.
Yeah. Man, that's just blowing me away. I'm trying, because one of the things that, since I started getting into this, was realizing all the different tiers of success in the music industry, and this is not necessarily a new one I haven't heard of before, but it's the first time I've talked with someone that's done that successfully, on that level and that tier of. There's a bunch
of them. I mean, I got to know a lot of variety entertainers, because you play these gigs, it's a couple hundred people I look at it as a couple hundred people in a room with a budget.
Yeah.
And last year they had a stand-up comedian. The year before that they had a ventriloquist. They had a hypnotist before that. This year they're going to have Gordy.
Yeah.
Those are my peeps.
Yeah.
And jugglers, and I just love them. I have this, I mean, I don't want to start anything, but when you get out, you're an idea guy. You get these ideas, and some of them are just, oh, that's a really great idea, and luckily it never comes back. It never comes back. This one just keeps coming back and coming back. I really think Spearfish has the potential to be, in entertainment, what Hill City is in art, what they've done over the last 20 years. And I mean, we have we're an entertainment town with the history of the Passion Play.
Yeah.
We know how to do this organism here,
Yeah.
And, what it would flesh out to be, in the summer you'd have I mean, if it was all the way fleshed out, maybe you'd have 2 or 3 events, really small venues, 50 to 100 people, with a variety, not just music. You got a singer-songwriter guy over here, but you got a ventriloquist over here and a juggler over there, and then something a little more upscale in the Matthews Opera House, and what I got started at the High Plains Western Heritage Center, the cowboy show. I mean, then you got something.
Yeah.
Then people are going, what do you want to do? Well, let's go up to Spearfish and catch a show. And you're in the car because you know there's something there to get it to that point. You know?
Yeah.
You got multiple weeks, 13 weeks of the summer, basically.
And consistently. Well, they know there's always going to be something there.
Right.
There's a few places that have tried to start doing music on the weekends. This was 5-6 years ago, and because they do it for a month or two, and it doesn't really pick up, so they stop.
Yeah.
It's like you really got to commit for quite a while before people start to realize, no, there's always going to be something there.
Here's where I come from. What you put up has to be worth $15. You don't just put music in a corner and pay them a couple $100. You put a cover charge on it. It costs people $15 to get in. If you get 100 people in there, you got $1,500. Maybe you can get somebody in. I mean, those of us that live here, can do some of that, but a lot of it, more than half of it, has to come from the outside. So you got to bring somebody in who's really good, who's worth $15, and normally they charge $1,500 a show, and you get them to come to the Black Hills on a nice vacation, and they do 4 shows for $1,500. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily those numbers, but
sure.
And it never ceases to amaze me when I talk to these guys. They go, "Oh God, I'd love to come to the Black Hills and play."
Yeah.
That'd be, people love it here.
Well, I always had this vision when I started playing up here of, there's music hubs. You got them kind of in the southern part of the states. There's a few in the east and west coast and that. But when you look at like northern Midwestern area, it's kind of bare when you think of like a hub, like people gravitate towards. And I always thought Northern Black Hills could do it, man. Like we're in a beautiful location for it. We got the history of Deadwood right around us, which brings in a lot of tourists. Yep. You got the Black Hills alone is bringing a lot of tourists, and you got Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, South Dakota. We're all right here. And it's like a 50-year dream because that's about how long I think it takes to shape a culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the other stuff that's available here still is that happens in those hubs around the country. There's still cheap rent here, relatively speaking, and artist spaces for all that other stuff that comes in. I mean, everybody comes in. You got the artists and the glass blowers and the which is here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and I know every one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think it's possible. And the trick is this last project I did with the Spirit of the American Cowboy. I said I'd produced 24, 25 projects. It's the best one I've ever done. Everything worked. It's the right thing at the right time in the right place. And for this thing to work, to come at something like this, I don't know. I'm tired of playing penny ante stuff. And, if you had a big bag of money, you throw it at it and just book middle of June to the middle of September, no rally, dark, take the rally off so everybody can breathe. I mean, that was the schedule I used to do in Deadwood, except we never went over into the shoulder seasons. Now, my God, there's more people here. We have more buses in September than we did any time. Yeah. So you run that. Just throw it at it. The Z-Bar back room can be a venue. Creating the venue is not a non-issue. Right. But and you need about, if it's a big bag of money, you need about a half a big bag of money to do the advertising. And don't do it without that.
Yeah, advertising is something. I don't know if this area just doesn't know how to do it well. There's a lot of stuff that comes by that I don't know about till after the fact.
I know.
How did I not hear about this?
I live here.
It's like, come on. Or they'll book you to play, and then they just assume that people are going to come. Saying, you got to tell people.
We got Facebook.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks. Posters still work. They still work great.
That's right.
I started making my own posters there for a long time, and I would post them and take them to places and pass them up around town. And
that's the business, Yeah. What always, and I don't know, it doesn't bother me, but normal people only see the person that's on stage. as the whole thing. You know? What they don't see is all the people say, "Oh, geez, I bet aren't you lucky to do what you want to do, performing and all that." And I say, absolutely. That's about that much of what I do. You know, I used to spend $7,000 to $9,000 a year on marketing.
Yeah.
To get those corporate gigs.
Yeah.
A lot of direct mail, a lot of whatever. You know.
And people don't. That's the thing. People either forget about or they don't care to realize. Like, there's a lot.
It's hard for people to look at show business as a business.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a crappy business.
They're like, oh man, their life must be so fun. They just get to have fun all the time on stage, and it must be cake. Like, it's furthest thing from, man. It's so much work. It's so much work. Well, even doing this show, like, you know, it was like, oh, you should do a podcast. You know, it's just easy. Like, well, it's not as easy as you think. There's a lot that goes on behind it, you know.
That's right.
But I love it, so I do it. You know?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, why you did it. Well, you did it for 30 years, you know.
So now, how do you record this? What program are you recording it on to?
Yeah, so I record it with GarageBand.
Okay.
And I just do the 2-channel split track, and then I can go in and, you know, adjust each of our voices accordingly. So if I need to adjust one of us up, tracks. We both don't go up, or anything like that. And, yeah, and I have a template that I built and just kind of load the audio into that, and then it goes pretty well.
Nice.
But
I bought a new interface. Focusrite, I think it is. Came with Pro Tools.
Those are great.
And all that stuff. I had a program that was Cubase years ago.
Yeah.
Figured it out, did fine. Had another little no problem. Guthmiller's had to come over here like 4 times to help me with this thing.
Yeah.
There's just so much more complicated now.
Yeah, they are. They are. Pro Tools is the dream. It's kind of pricey for what I want to spend at this point.
When it came with it.
And that came. Oh, see, so you got
and it's baby
the package deal and everything.
Yeah. You know, it's weenie Pro Tools.
Yeah. But they've got. I mean, for what I do currently, this works fine. You know, I know Pro Tools can dive into it deeper, which I'd love to at some point. But
yeah, right. Well, this I finally figured out I'm not going to mess with that. I have a video camera. A friend of mine has loaned it me for a year. It's sitting over there. It's a $5,000 Sony video camera, 2 inputs, audio in. And I've got and I've decided. Dallas said, you know, the stuff we do, and you really should make it video. You know, I'm going to put all this junk up on YouTube and see where it goes.
Sure.
With cancer trailers, perhaps.
Of course.
So, tonsil cancer. That's pretty hard to swallow.
Oh my God.
Sing another one while you can, God. Gordy. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's gold, man.
But I'm trying to figure out, it can't be that hard because I've got that on. Now I will have it on the video track. And Grant, who does all this, I forget the name of the program you do video stuff in, but I just want to be able to go in and mix those 2 tracks a little bit, maybe EQ them and put a little reverb on it maybe.
Sure.
And I think I can do that within his program. He's one of these video guys. Doesn't know his butt from a hole in the ground about audio.
Yeah.
And will admit it.
Sure. Well, at least he admits it.
Oh, yeah.
That's half the battle, man.
Yeah. Right.
That's half the battle.
That's true.
Oh, that's half the battle right there. I mean, and I'm by far an amateur with audio and video and stuff like that. I know enough to be dangerous, but I've got a few friends that's what they went to school for, and it shows. It's like, yeah, okay.
So what Guy Clark songs do you know?
The big one I usually play most of the time is Dublin Blues.
Ooh,
I love that song. Black Diamond Strings. That's a fun one to do. It's just simple and easy, and it's one of those songs that I don't think anyone really gets unless you listen to Guy Clark and you maybe play music yourself, and you're kind of in that strand. But I love it. I always have. He's him.
Do you do the guitar? You know what I'm talking about? I just listened to it. I've got to learn it.
I don't do that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about, but no, I don't think I've ever.
I never have either.
There's some songs with songs with him, Townes Van Zandt, Blaze Foley, that whole range of people. It's like that is That's their song. Like I won't, like I might play it at home just to, because I like it, but out in public, it's like, I'm not going to play that one. That's, my hat's tipped to them, and it's a respect thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
That's not a song that, I've gotten spoiled. I pretty much only play when people are listening. So it opens things up.
Right.
Songs that you wouldn't want to mess with, but you just want to play because you want people to hear them.
Right.
Because they're not going to hear it any other fucking way.
Right.
Too. I mean,
not going to find them.
Yeah.
They're not. It's just. I was just
talking
talking
to
Paul
Larson and I bonded over Guy Clark. We sat around.
Oh, sure. I know Paul.
I don't know. Between the two of us, I think we had about at least a dozen.
Yeah, man.
Paul does a tremendous version of. Sometimes I look in my grandfather's immigrant eyes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
see that reflecting. I mean, what a jeepers creepers.
Did you ever listen to Dave Alvin? Do you know what I'm talking about? He does King of California or Sonora's Death Row. Just
King of California, as in from Roger Miller. King of California.
No, different one.
Omaha.
Different one. It's well, I left my home and my one true love east of the Ohio River. I don't know. You've probably heard it. If you kicked it out and you'd be like, oh, I've heard this somewhere.
Yeah.
But he's got. I'm a huge fan of him too, and he's kind of in that strand. I think he's younger.
I read twice, 2 different places referring to Guy. 3 different places referring to Guy Clark as the Stephen Foster of the last 100 years. Oh, that's a handle.
Yeah.
And it was actually in the last century, so it was the Stephen Foster of the 20th century.
Sure. Like I've debated putting, getting back to what you were talking about with performances and stuff. Like I've debated a few times putting together.
Now people would enjoy this.
Just like something like this. Or a few years back, I wanted to do like a John Prine tribute night.
Yes.
And just play like 12 to 18 John Prine songs.
Yep. I have had that idea for Guy.
That'd be great. Or like a Highwaymen tribute night. Find 3 other artists, and we each kind of take a persona, and we perform. I thought that'd be really, really fun. You could market that well in like the Opera House, something like that. Where you get people come in and it's classic songs like that people know.
That's the key. If you can pick artists and people are going to know a few, at least a few of the things. I can do that here. Yeah. Anytime. Mm-hmm. And I've got a mailing list are you on that list?
I believe so, actually. Yeah.
Dallas sends them out. It's a monkey chip thing. It's about 1,000 of them. Send out 3 emails and 35 people show up and they throw $15 in the pot and you split the gate. And
I've been the place where I host the podcast on just offered up a live show option, or I could record a podcast live or something like that. It might be fun to do something like that. We'll have to chat afterwards and see if we can figure out something like that. That'd be really, really neat. Something like that to do.
I never do songs like people. They're done generally. I always kind of wait until my own version comes in. I'll just play a little bit of this, but Guy did it really slow, and I just think I heard him say afterward, he said, I recorded that song too soon. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. I think you might like it fast. Sitting on the fender of someone else's truck, drinking Old Crow whiskey and hot 7-Up hot in the parking lot. There's a couple of cowpokes putting up their dukes. Wasn't much to it after both of them puked out in the park. I mean,
Right.
He just makes these fabulous pictures.
Yeah. He could write, man. He could definitely write.
Oh, shit. I do the Cape. That's a big one.
Okay. Gotcha.
You got to know, you got to know in the phone. Yeah, it essentially is that.
Yeah.
My intro to that is, when I was growing up, everybody wanted to be Superman. You got real serious about it. You went over to Grandma's house and borrowed a flour sack. I talk to kids today, don't know what flour sacks are. I talk to kids today, don't know what flour is. But you grabbed a flour sack and you tied that flour sack around your neck. By golly, you were Superman. He was 8 years old at the flour sack, cape tied all around his neck. He climbed up on the garage, figuring what the heck. Screwed his courage up so tight that the whole thing come unwound. He got a running start, and bless his heart, he headed for the ground. He's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms and hold your breath, and always trust your cape. God, I love that song.
Yeah.
He's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith.
Well, you
Spread
almost
your
wonder,
arms and hold your breath.
It's the kind of thing where artists like that, it's you hope that people continue that strand and that legacy, I guess is probably a better word for it, because you listen to a lot of stuff today and it's where's it going, and that's where you hunt down artists that just they disappear if you don't pay attention to them. And the internet's helped a lot with that because you can promote yourself more, and YouTube, and everything like that, and people can find it and hunt you down. And I was just talking to a guy yesterday. There's a lot of producers and talent agencies that are recognizing that there's more than radio music that people want, and so they're Again. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's like, nope, we're done. Well,
I always thought that's what FM was for.
right.
For my generation.
Well, it's like at some point you get to you get to this level where you're pigeonholed, where this is what we have to do now, and then everyone else is, well, that's not what I do. So what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And thankfully, people are realizing, I don't want that, so I'm going to go find this, And then you got, people that follow the strands of Guy Clark or John Prine, or my all-time is Willie Nelson. I just adore him. And he had a rough go at it getting started back in the day. I'm reading his biography.
Now, is it true? I've always heard that he sold Crazy for $50. Is that in that biography?
I haven't gotten to that yet, but it wouldn't shock me.
Because he was one of the guys that was in the whole first group of, hey, we got to get paid.
Yeah.
Songwriters. Yeah.
Yep.
And I somebody told me the list, but it's like, oh, yeah, those people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Early 50s country music writers.
But he's got, I bought his Christmas book that he wrote, Pretty Paper. His Pretty Paper song, his Christmas song that he did with his Christmas album. And that's my favorite Christmas song. I absolutely love it. Cool. But it's cool because he kind of writes the story around that and what kind of got him into writing that. And it's really, really neat. It's a cool Christmas book, and everything in that. But
I've got 5 Christmas songs.
Yeah.
I had 2 of them have one of them still with a publisher in Los Angeles who only does Christmas music, Justin Wild, Christmas and holiday music. And he has peddled I'm a Present. It's the name of the song. And the reason he likes it is from the perspective of the present.
Oh, nice.
I'm a present tucked up under the tree. And it's a 50-50 deal. So far we've split 50-50, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
But he submitted the damn thing. This is my closest, contact with this kind of work or business. He submitted that thing over 900 times. He hand-delivered it to Ray Charles's mailbox.
Wow.
A CD and a lyric sheet when he was still alive. I mean, he's been at this I think we signed, and he kind of helped me write the song. I had, this is kind of fun. This is an interesting thing. I can't wait to be given. Originally, I had, I can't wait to be given. I can't wait. He said, if you're going to steal from anybody, don't steal from the Gershwins. They'll kill you. Stepping out with my baby.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. So it became, and it's actually more interesting. Yeah. It's actually more interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be given. I can't wait to be received. I don't know of the two which one is better. To give or get a tie or a poinsettia. I'm a present wrapped up under the tree. I'm a present. All you want for Christmas is me. I'm a present. I'm I'm a gift selection. I'm a gesture of affection. I'm a present, and I'm president accounted for. And he thinks that Justin thinks if you could get that to somebody, I mean, he pitched it to Michael Bublé. He pitched it to any name you can think of. You know, and when I engage with him, it's his business. But you know, anybody big, he thinks because of the point of view, it would be a song that would survive.
Have you heard J.D. McPherson?
My kids would have what?
Have you heard of J.D. McPherson?
Yeah.
So he did a Christmas album last year called Socks.
Socks.
And it's about like the worst gift I ever got, you know. But he plays this he plays this great style of music. It's
Oh, I got to get into that.
But that, like, when you started playing it, I'm like, oh, that would have been perfect on that album, like that, you know.
Yeah.
Just because of the style of music he does and kind of stuff that he plays and everything, but would be worth it. But that's an album you would absolutely enjoy.
J.D.
McPherson, yeah, I think he's out
I've heard of him.
I think he's out of Texas.
Yeah.
But my wife and I always look forward to after Thanksgiving and we can bust that album out again and kick it on because it's on repeat. It's so
What's
good.
it called?
Socks.
Just I love that.
Just Socks. Yeah.
I'll if I have those, I'm gonna give those to you. There's 5 of them, different styles. One is kind of, and this was I was writing for a show. I was doing Christmas shows with, you know, kind of review, kind of piano player, 3 or 4 people, singers, lights go up and down. Once in '96 in Deadwood in the basement of the Bullock Hotel, there were 2 Saturdays that we did 4 shows in a row. We had 60 seats. We'd do 2 cocktail shows, a dinner show, and a cocktail show. Jeez. And, you know, we were fine, but the help was like, blah. You know?
Yeah.
Bartenders, you know. But I was writing for the show, and I ran out of stuff. I used all this, I don't know. Angels, we are high tonight. Sweetly.
Yeah.
You know, shopping till you're dropping, all that kind of crap. And I thought, well, geez, there's no song about presents. So I wrote that present song. And one about Kenny Putnam thinks this is the best thing I've got, and I need to get it to like Betty White. I'm a Christmas decoration hanging in a special place upon the tree. That's me. For many generations I've been dangling here for everyone to see. Look at me. Every year I come out of the box upon the shelf. They dust me off and say, remember this one. It wouldn't be a Christmas if they couldn't find me anywhere. You can't go out and buy me, they don't make me anymore. I'm the oldest decoration on the tree. I've been dropped by every member of the family, but they always pick me up and glue me back together and hang me on the front for all to see.
Oh man, dude, that's great. Holy cow.
There's a little joke. He does this. Yeah, I'm so used to doing live stuff. He does this thing where
he just spins around.
He's got a little thing.
Right. Oh, that's cool, man.
And he says, I've been hanging here for as long as I can remember. Well, I was hanging here the year the Supreme Court decided they couldn't have a nativity scene in Washington, D.C. Wasn't for religious reasons. They just couldn't find 3 wise men and a virgin. Jay Leno said that.
Yeah, that's great, man. That is great. Man, dude, this is eye-opening. Like, just hearing your stories.
I need to hear your stuff.
Talking. Yeah, I mean.
Did you feel like playing one of these things?
I could probably play a. I'll play you one that I actually just started writing.
All right.
Play a new one.
This one's a little easier to wrap your fingers around.
But see, mine aren't that entertaining, man. Mine are way different.
That's all right, man. I write those too. Not very well.
You got that capo on you still?
Oh, yeah. Need a pick?
No, I'm good.
I never could hang on to them.
Yeah, they get rough.
I've gotten to the point where I make a pretty good plectrum out of that. But
Yeah.
It's real big.
Oh, you keep your nails long. Yeah.
Only my
Yeah.
hairdresser knows for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm working on this one, so it's not done yet. But I don't think my wife listens to the show often. She like goes through it, so I don't think she'll hear this before it's done, which is good because then I can surprise her. So. But I was thinking of this the other day. I want to spend more time overseas, see lots of things that I've never seen. Go to Greece, maybe Italy, and I want to be loved by you. I want to wake up on Sunday morning, pour the coffee and walk the dog. Turn the short hours into long, and I want to be loved by you. You know? Nice. It's just that kind of a, I don't know, nice. simple feeling that. Yeah, but that's what I've been writing lately. I've been doing a lot more the finger pick. Not yet. I've got like a la 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 da 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 da. You know, I've got a. I think I've got. So there's structure to it and everything like that, but that's what I've been doing lately. And I wrote this one.
That's cute.
Let's see. I think I'd rather just say nothing of all the topics of the times. Seems to me nobody listens, just want repeats of their kind, repeats of their kind, repeats of their kind. Social song, you know?
Right.
'Cause high and low I hear 'em screaming to make their mark on history. They say, I don't want to be forgotten when time marches over me. Marches over me, marches over me. And I do have a chorus to this one.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm gonna worry about that right now, 'cause I got kids to raise. Don't know if I'll be known for anything after I leave this place. And that's okay. So that's
nice.
You know, that's what I've been doing lately and stuff. But
yeah.
I enjoy songwriting, man. It's something I never thought I'd get into, and I'll never stop. I absolutely love it.
You know, if you can, it's like you pretty much have to.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true. It's not something you just. I think I want to try that. Like, no, you either are or you aren't. You know what I mean?
Well, or it drives you nuts because you just want to get it out.
Yep,
just got to get it out.
You can go crazy keeping it in.
I always laugh. I stole this line from a songwriter friend of mine, but I used to write 10 or 12 songs a year, and now I write a song every 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
I just haven't had it. I've written a lot of songs. Then this one just kind of popped out. It's got a really weird form, which I can't talk myself out of. But people seem to like it. Real nostalgic-y. When I was a little boy, I rode on the back of whatever it was. When I was a little boy, I rode on the back of whatever it was. I rode on the back of Howard's old Jeep. Rode on the back of that blue 63. We'd sit on the fenders. The fins were like wings. Oh, when I was a little boy, I rode on the back of whatever it was. splinters from the flatbed, throwed off a horse, rode every tailgate in town. Oh, when I was a little boy, I rode on the back of whatever it was. Daddy was watching just out of sight. He'd have caught me if I'd have fallen off. Sometimes he'd hop on and we rode 'em together. The two of us, we had us a ball. Now it's me and my little boy. We ride on the back of whatever needs a road. And when he has a little girl, we'll ride on the back of whatever needs a road. Hop on, honey. Hold on. Here we go.
Jeez, man.
Isn't that
That's a great tune.
Thank you.
Holy cow, man.
And I just love singing it, and I have no idea where it came from or
Yeah.
one of those deals, which has never happened to me before.
It takes you back. It quickly takes you back to thinking, oh, man. I absolutely see why everybody likes it.
Yeah, everybody says, oh, yeah, I remember so-and-so. So-and-so. Oh,
Yeah.
God, we used to ride an old Jack's truck.
Well, and songs like that lead to stories, when people hear it, like, oh, do you remember so-and-so and what? And before you know it, like the feel of the area in the room just gets better and better and better. And I don't know, man. It's songwriting, you know?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it's a weird deal.
Yeah.
Is it really only 12:30?
It is, yeah.
I looked at that clock and I thought, 5 o'clock? We haven't been sitting here for 6 hours.
It'd be easy to do, though, hanging out with you.
It would. I'm glad we had more time. I thought I was going to have to make salad. I've got a dinner engagement at 5. But please play another one. Play something you know.
Yeah, let me see.
Give me something you worked up.
Let me do.
Rip Collie.
I'll play you. This is So I don't know if you know this about me.
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
You got a cup of coffee?
Yeah. Coffee would be good.
Dark?
Yeah,
White?
dark would be great. While Gordy makes me coffee, I'm gonna sing a song. So I was a pastor in a former life. Yeah, and I've been thinking through just all of that led me into it and got me out of it, and this is a song I called Grave Robber, and it's just about looking through everything I kind of used to think and trying to see if there was anything of value to keep. So I've been walking around a graveyard in my mind, chasing any shiny thing that catches my eye, hoping all the ghosts I find here somehow are alive. I've been walking around a graveyard in my mind. I've been digging up the bones I buried deep, thinking that I missed something when I laid them down to sleep. Because the seeds that I've been sowing don't reflect all that I've reaped. I've been digging up the bones I buried deep. Oh, I am a grave robber, stealing whatever I find. I know there must be something there in everything I left behind. I've been clawing at the ashes of the past, scraping all the dead away to see what is steadfast. 'Cause all the gold I'm holding just don't seem like it can last. I've been clawing at the ashes of the past. Oh, I am a grave robber, stealing whatever I find. I know there must be something there in everything I left behind. And everything I left behind. And everything I left behind.
That's nice.
So, that's the stuff I write. I haven't done anything as far as a performance, start to finish, like a concept. You know what I mean? Where you're like tell a story throughout a bunch of it and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, typically in this day and age, with comedy and non-comedy, I mean, people will take a biographical element, which you wrote this song out of a biographical element, and make a comical narrative out of it, and then you play the song and you break everybody's heart. Bob's your uncle, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. That's right.
Interesting. There's some nice lines in there. I like the ash.
Well, it all came out of, just stuff I learned in Bible school and theology training and everything like that. And it took some of those imagery and just thought through, I got into philosophy, Friedrich Nietzsche and all the whole,
It's real universal.
Yeah. So you dive into it and you start to like, oh, there's something here.
A friend of mine who was sorry, am I too far away from the mic?
You're way too far away from the mic. No one can hear you, man.
Put the water on. A friend of mine wrote a song. He's a preacher. Pastor. He wrote a song, and it's really funny when he sings it, and people enjoy it when Dallas and I sing it too. I think we do it as a Norwegian, Sven Norskepop, Sven and Olga Norskepop. Yeah,
okay.
And in church, Olga, did you see the? There's always bad jokes in front of it. Did you see the? To church bulletin, they've renamed the building committee. Oh yeah, what's it like? Well, it's called I upped my pledge, up yours. And this kind of stuff.
That's great.
Lester, how does the dang song go? I know that Jesus loves me because the Bible tells me so, but I just can't stand this preacher. I'd like to let him know that the more he talks of heaven, the more I want to sin. Oh, Lord, I'm bored again. I'm a born-again Christian, but soon I will be free. I'll be vegged out on the sofa, watching the football on TV. But until the benediction, till we sing that final hymn, oh Lord, I'm bored again.
That's great.
Oh. I can smell that coffee brewing out of reach just down the hall. But the sermon's gone to overtime and the preacher's lost the ball. Somewhere between my salvation and the wormwood and the gall. Oh, Lord, I'm bored again. Did the preacher say amen? Hallelujah, God is good. The Bible says I'll rise again, but I don't think I could because the pew has got my legs to sleep. I'm nailed to the wood. Ooh. Oh, Lord, I'm bored again. I'm a bored-again Christian. Soon I will be free. I'll be wedged out on the sofa watching the Vikings on TV. But until the benediction, till we sing that final hymn, oh, Lord, I'm bored again.
That is great. Oh, that is great. I could have used that a few times.
Oh,
in previous versions of Heath.
absolutely. And it's just from the pulpit.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember there was one time I was preaching and I bored myself. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, yeah. I need to end this quick.
There you go.
End this quick.
Do you take milk?
No, I drink my coffee black, man.
All right.
Makes it nice and easy. Yeah, and we got a few more minutes still before.
Okay.
I usually try to keep these around an hour and a half-ish, so we're sitting really good. But
I don't know. I guess it says coming on Christmas, and the first year in 30 years I won't be doing a Christmas show.
Yeah,
which will be really nice, actually.
Looking forward to just the break.
Just not having to learn that material. You know how if you do something once a year for a short period, you got to completely relearn it again.
Yep.
And Dallas and I have come up with some great stuff.
Sure.
We do a version of I Really Can't Stay, Baby, It's Cold Outside, but we flip the roles.
Okay.
Which she found an old Red Skelton performance on a movie from the 50s with Betty Garrett, and they flip the roles. So it's not the girl saying, I really can't, or you flip it around. It's really funny.
Huh.
And then we copped this, from that performance also, copped this coat routine. You get an oversized coat, and I'm playing this at the same time. Get over here and put my arm in it, and then she puts her arm in the arm back there and flips in, and all of a sudden we're in the same coat. It's just cool.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
And we won't get to do that, which is we'll have to just kind of run through it once, just so we don't forget it.
Yeah, I wrote a Christmas song with Anna Robbins a couple years back. Yeah. She's a songwriter. She lives in Bellefouche.
Yeah,
and about this time every year, I have to dust it off and relearn it because it's. Yeah. I just know you never play it until the season comes out. We should just record it. And just have it, and then there you go. You want to listen to it? Press play.
It's good. It's good to dust it off. Yeah. I've dusted these things off so much; they're pretty tight. Mm-hmm. The other song and Justin in California, the Christmas songwriter guy, he passed on this one for the last cycle. They're 6-year contracts he signed. Mm-hmm. But somebody could just have a ball with this if I can remember it. One night in December, I was having a beer in my local bar down the street over here. In a booth in the back by the pool table, there sat old Santa Claus. His head was in his hands, he looked so pathetic. His suit was all wrinkled and his eyes were as red as the nose on the face of that most famous reindeer of all. I said, Santa, you look like you lost your last elf. Mind if I join you? He said, suit yourself. And I slid in across from the claws and said, ho, 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 man. St. Nick, you look like you could use some rest. You want to talk about it? Get it off of your chest. And he said, all right, you ask for it. Here goes. He said you can take this Santa suit and shove it. If you're looking for a job, take mine, you'll love it. This Santa thing is way too tough. I'm done, I'm through, I've had enough. He said Rudolph was a lush and the elves are lazy and Mrs. Claus, she drives him crazy. If he had a nickel for every ho, 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 he'd be all set. He started out as a fairy tale. Now he gets 16 tons of mail. Said he'd like to trade in that old sleigh for a jet. She was so sweet when they first dated. Now Mrs. Claus is liberated. Says she has to have her own career. She said she needed more space to grow. He said, what do you want? You got the whole North Pole. Now he's sleeping in the barn with a darn reindeer. He said you can take this Santa suit and shove it. If you're looking for a job, take mine, you'll love it. This Santa thing is way too tough. I'm done, I'm through, I've had enough. One night old Rudolph was drinking in a local bar, having too much fun, going way too far, doing touch and goes with dough to dough he'd fly. Rudy was there when the place got raided. A fight broke out. He nearly made it out the back door in reverse, waving goodbye. Well, he missed the door, and he hit the wall. They read him his reindeer rights and all. He took a swing at the cop, and he hit poor old Sandy. Oh. Rudolph was incarcerated for flying while intoxicated. He'll be lucky if he gets out by New Year's Eve. Oh, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I just can't take it. I gotta get out. This Santa thing is totally out of control. So if you're looking for a job, sign right here. You really only work one day of the year. Oh yeah, Mrs. Claus comes with the deal. And when your blood's about to boil, I'll be on some beach all covered with oil. I'll be thinking about you. Really, I will. Please take this Santa suit. You'll love it. You're looking red. It fits like a glove. Sorry, it's still Santa. Please take this Santa suit. You'll love it. You're looking red. It fits like a glove. Won't the missus be surprised when you show up? I'm done. I'm through. I've had enough. Here, take this Santa suit. You'll love it. Go ahead, really. Think nothing of it. Try on those boots. You can hem that cuff. I'm done. I'm through. I've had enough. Poor old Sandy, I'm done, I'm through, I've had enough. Oh, fucking oh, I'm done, I'm through, and I never do that. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. I've had enough.
Oh, man. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Sorry about that.
That was great, man.
Isn't that a fun song?
Oh, that's a great song.
Jeez.
Jeez, man.
You know, there are places for that, but those kind of songs.
Yeah.
But they're not, you know.
Yeah.
It's in that other place.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is in a lot of that older. That's like a Jerry Reed song.
Oh, sure.
You know, talking
100%, absolutely.
Blues thing, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't think people's attention span quite.
Well,
I don't know.
If you get them though, they're going to stay. That's oh man.
Yeah, if you can hook them, you can clean them and fry them.
Yeah. You can tell you've been doing this a long time, and you've developed the entertainment aspect of the music industry, which is a rare thing, and it's something that I don't know. I think you got to work at it, but there's a certain level of it where either you're entertaining by nature. I couldn't. There's a few people I know that I couldn't ever see them developing the character aspect of different performances in a show, which is fine. You know, not everyone does it, but yeah. But
it's in the last few years, the music has kind of overtaken with me, and it kind of consumes my body. The characters have always, I've done 3 or 4 characters. You know, that's always just been a device, you know.
Sure.
Cowboy characters say something silly, you know. Or not, you know. After it hasn't rained for 2 or 3 months, cowboys are likely to say, we're closer to the next rain than we ever was before. You know, that kind of dry stuff. That character actually is named Orville T. Saddlesore. Comes from my great uncle Orville Williams, who just died, I don't know, a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's that real deal. If you actually talk like him, you can't understand a word he says. Gordon! He wrote this joke and sent it to me. Gordon! I gotta go get my Les What's fixed. What? My Les What's. My hearing aids. When they work, I say what less? My Les what? I mean,
that's good. That's good.
It's just so dry. It's all so dry. God, these guys just kill me.
Yeah.
And I grew up with that. That's where the cowboy junk comes from.
Sure. So what does retirement look like for you then? When you say retirement, are you done doing these performances, so it's just less of them?
Well, retired. I retired before the cancer thing. I mean, that's kind of put a wrinkle in. Not really. Just a pause. Speed bump.
Sure.
You know, speed bump in the road of life. I just got sick of doing the traveling. Mm-hmm. So then I started trimming down the marketing. Mm-hmm. And then I just quit marketing. So I took away, of the original Fabulous One guy, I took away the driver and the booking agent. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to book any more of that crap anymore, which saved me a lot of money. So reconfiguring, I'm about where I was before, but I'm just not spending so damn much time in a car.
Sure.
And, I mean, I love those gigs. You know, anybody would be grateful to have those gigs because somebody introduces you and you've got them. Mm-hmm. And they're very nice people, and they've had a couple cocktails. And
sure, yeah, absolutely.
They're just the best gigs ever.
Yeah.
And you're in bed by 10. Mm-hmm. Retirement for me means, I think it means to a lot of people, I just want to do more of what I want to do.
Sure.
And I'm kind of trying to figure out what that is. I mean, I've been so focused on doing this one thing to just make a living, and, you know, people are amazed when really? You just do that? You've just been able, I've been able to average, you know, $40,000, $50,000 a year with a guitar and a bag of hats.
Yeah.
You know, and to not have to do that push. And it's taken me, I'm kind of getting there, and the cancer thing has actually helped get me off of that treadmill. So I used to get up, well, I would always know, and I've heard other people who are in their own little business, cottage industries. Mm-hmm. At some point, you got so much work, you can't chase any more work. So then you start doing that work. Mm-hmm. And I sold architects and engineers for several years, too. So I kind of learned how to do soft sell, marketing director kind of stuff.
Sure.
If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be doing this. It helped me realize that I need to figure out what I want to do with the time I've got left. And I'm kind of embarked on that process now.
That's cool.
You know, but I'm project oriented. I mean, seeing if anybody's interested in making a Spearfish an entertainment destination, it's an uphill push because most people are dumb as boxes of roxes about the entertainment business.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky. I mean, you know, you've managed to do business in this business. And, and Jason Guthmiller and, you know, various people that we know. It's rare.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely rare, especially in this area. And most people I know, they talk about leaving and finding a place where they can survive. But my whole argument against that is, you know, then you're just a small fish in a much bigger pond.
That's right.
You know, up here you can standing out is one thing, but you can develop yourself a lot quicker because you have more opportunities to do so versus, you know, sitting in your living room and hoping you can buy yourself onto a stage somewhere, you know.
There aren't 50 of you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I've been able to make it here. Nobody around here does what I do.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, I quickly discovered that in 5 minutes of walking in here.
There's a couple of magicians.
Right.
I mean, just in terms of, to me, variety entertainment means you can get up and entertain people for 45 minutes for money. Mm-hmm. You know, doing something. And I've had friends forever, Williams and Ree, Mule Deer, Kenny, my old buddy Kenny Miller said, "You got to get out of here. You can't do this here."
Yeah.
I proved him wrong. But I traveled like crazy. I mean, I was in a car all the time.
Yeah. I'm trying to get Mule Deer on the show.
Oh, good.
One day.
He's the best.
He's going to say yes. His manager and I have been emailing back and forth. So
the funniest man alive.
It'd be great. It'd be great to talk to him. But
he's a neat man. Good man.
Yeah.
Good
Gordy,
man.
this has been awesome. I got to tell you, man, this has been one of my favorite conversations I think I've ever had. I feel like there's so much more I could learn from you. Like this is cool.
I hope we can establish an ongoing relationship here.
I think it has to happen. I think it's not even a choice.
You know how you write a song, don't you?
What's that?
You know how you write a song.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
Find a couple words that rhyme, put them in a rhythm and time, make up a little melody, add a little harmony for me when life is too much to take. Take a little music break, dig down deep inside, rear back and let her fly. Dee-da-da-da, little song, and that's all I've ever had. It's been around for 20 years. It's like, God, that's a fun little song, but it's never, you know, one of those that just, I pick it out every once in a while. I go, yeah, then just put it right back.
Right. Yeah.
Unless something comes to mind pretty quick, it's like, whatever. You thought about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a handful of those. It's
absolutely. That's cool, man.
But I love your songs. I look forward to hearing more of them.
Yeah, we'll connect some more. We're gonna have to connect again and do some stuff together. It'd be fun to see what our heads can come up with. We put them together and stuff. So
I love the Guy Clark show or John Prine show or
you might have some ideas for me on how to make those happen. So I feel like I said, I could learn a lot from you that I currently don't know.
We could just do some stuff together.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
That's what I'm into doing stuff with. As I said, I played with myself for 30 some odd years, and there were some odd years.
It's a lot more fun playing with other people too. I enjoyed it. I did solo for a long time. I'm back to doing solo stuff now, and in between there, I was playing with a few people, and it's more fun. It's way more fun.
Yeah.
And you develop more things and different things. So, anyway, man, cheers again. Thank you so much for being on the Heath Bar.
Thank you.
We'll chat some more and maybe have you on for another part 2 episode with Gordy. So. That's it for this episode of the Heath Bar, folks. You don't have to go home, but as always, you can't stay here. One thing I do want to mention, we talked a lot in the conversation about Gordy's recent diagnosis with tonsil cancer. There are some ways that you can help him out, and I will have the links to the Caring Bridge website they have, which takes you to their the GoFundMe page. So if you are looking for ways to help Gordy and donate to help him through this time. The links to those will be in the show notes as well as on the website, the heathbarpodcast.com as well, and I will share them on the social media platforms also. He's a fun guy, and life throws you curveballs, but as you can tell from the conversation, he's got a good way to view it. There's really all you can really say is when things like that happen, to view it and deal with it the way that he does is inspiring. So. Those links will be available to you. Go ahead and check them out now, and we'll see you all next time.